of the new chambers.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Employment Policy Committee on Tuesday, the 16th of June at 7:30 p.m. We're meeting here at Sycamore House. I'm the chair of this committee, and welcome to the new committee. It's a new council year. It's the first committee that's done on the new council year. So, welcome to the committee, everyone. And I think Richard, you've joined this committee. So. Yes. And I think we've lost some people from the committee, so thank you for their, I think that's Osmoby, Uche and Daniel, for their work on the committee previously. I will just do a quick round of who's in the room, just for those who are on the watching it on the live stream. As said, I'm Councillor Hume, I'm the chair of this committee, and I'll look to my right.
Councillor Richard Graham, Central Bletchley, and Deputy Mayor.
Councillor Otelia Fernandez, Fenny, Stratford.
And we're also joined by the clerk.
John Fairclough, Town Clerk.
And online we've currently got Councillor Kelly Wilson. He is making his way here to join us in person, but Helen is, so he's just joining us to be on Teams so he can take part in the discussion, but as he is online, he won't be able to vote whilst he's online until he's here in the room, as per the Local Government Act 1972. Got the right year there.
You did.
Brilliant.
Very good.
So that takes us on to item on the agenda. Clark, do we have any apologies to note?
Yes, we've got one set from Councillor Ely.
Okay. Item 2, to note councillors' declarations of interest in matters on the agenda. Do any councillors or officers have any interests on the agenda to declare?
No.
3, to approve minutes of the previous meeting. So they're all in the papers in front of us, and so I won't run through them, but are they approved? If not, please say. Great, that's approved. Item 4, sorry, to receive representation from members of the public on items on the agenda. Clark, do we have any members of the public who've expressed interest to speak on these items?
No member of the public.
Okay. That takes us on to item 5, to receive a report on health and safety matters that affect employees and council activities. Clark, is there anything you would want to say to this?
No, the landscape and environment manager has produced this for us today, and he's listed the accidents and injuries in the last since we last met. As you can see, there's 3 listed on there, 2 near misses and 1 accident. So things have been put in place for checks. For those, one was human error. The accident was someone fell out of the van and injured themselves.
Just to clarify for those who are watching online, that is a stationary van.
Stationary van. That's correct. That's correct. A bit of detail there. Yeah. So just lost footing, human error, fell out the back of the van and required some attention there. But they have been delivering some toolbox talks, as you can see, kind of quite a few in May, and I think they've got some scheduled for the rest of this month as well. The health surveillance, which was discussed at the previous meeting, I believe, when it was initially booked in. So following advice from Peninsula, the landscape team and caretaker underwent health surveillance relating to potential hazards which they are exposed to. I won't list them, but they're all listed there for you, including skin surveillance and HABS. So the Barton Road caretaker and landscape health and safety audit took place on the 14th of January. So it was conducted at 21 Barton Road, and there were 3 minor actions which were identified, which have since been completed. You can see some comments there that was accompanied in the report, but it's kind of a very positive one. So overall, it was an outstanding visit. A real pleasure meeting the team and seeing how hard they've worked to not only improve the compliance but implement practical and thorough safety measures. So that was good feedback from Peninsula on that. Training requirements. So there's been some advanced driving courses that have taken place. All the team took part in that, and pole saw courses. And Will and Kate last week took part in the mental health first aid courses, which is kind of part of our checklist to get a better rating with that. So they did that last week and found it very helpful, actually, and they're They both managed quite a lot of members of the team, so I think that's very worthwhile doing. That was from William Allen.
I mean, there's no recommendations on this report, so it is just for later unless we do have any recommendations that we come up with, but I don't think is there any comments or anything on that report that members would like to comment on?
No.
Or questions? Okay, are we okay to, I think, I just want to say well done to the team in terms of just about that health and safety audit. It's always nervous when you have an audit of some shape or form, so to get out those comments is particularly helpful, and hopefully that will carry on and that level of understanding will remain the same or increase as well. Can we note that report?
Yes.
Okay, that's noted. Moving on to item 6 then, to receive a financial management report showing expenditure against the budget for the year to date on employment matters. Clark, is there anything you want to bring to our attention on this, or is it just a...
There's nothing out of the norm on this, and you can have a look yourself, but there's nothing to kind of comment on. It's just pretty straightforward, on track with each budget item.
Are there any questions or comments on any members? Let us know, in which case shall we note that report?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Item 7, to approve an increase in the mileage allowance. Clark, would you like to introduce this one?
Yes, so at present the council pays members 45p per mile for business travel incurred in private vehicles as part of their duties and roles. This is up to 10,000 miles. So on the 21st of May 2026, the Chancellor announced an increase in the rate for business miles in private cars to go up to 55p per mile, with effect from the 1st of June 2026. As a council, it's worth noting we are not required to pay the new rate, but payments up to these amounts are tax-free, and the rate has not changed since 2011. The RFO has put some financial implications in there. So in 25-26 budget, the council incurred £477 in respect of staff travel claims, and the budget for this year, 26-27, is 400. So the recommendation is to approve the increase and implement it with effect from the 1st of June.
Okay. I mean, I've just done a quick calculation on that, and if we did exactly the same number of miles as we did in 25-26, it would be about £106 more in terms of the budget. It's a small number in terms of the budget, but I do wonder whether have we got our budget settlement rate for this item.
I think it's worth having it. Yeah. The next one.
It's very small in terms of the overall budget of the Employment Policy Committee and the council as a whole, but
yeah,
it's definitely spent last year. Well, we spent more than we budgeted for this year. So, are there any comments or questions on the paper?
Just one. So do you not think we need to run it through the finance department? Just because we did spend more, we budgeted less. I mean, now it's going to be even more, right?
If it goes on the same, amount of mileage, that's same as this year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we should run it through the finance.
I think it is on the F&G as well, just to report.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say we've got a large number of different items on our under employment policy, and we will probably see savings at some point during the year or something else or whatever. So I think it's probably worth just keeping an eye on it throughout the year. But given on a £697,000 budget, a couple of £100 is not.
Yeah.
I think we haven't put the rate up since 2011, so it would be prudent to put it up and fall in line with recommendations from central government. So I'm prepared to approve that.
Yeah.
I mean, more than just very, very tiny sums.
Yeah. So I propose the opposite recommendation to implement an increase in the mileage allowance to 55p per mile with effect from the 1st of June 2026. Well, second. Is that all approved?
Yeah.
Approved.
Great. We have just had Councillor Kelly Wilson arrive into the room, so welcome. It's good to see you. It's our first Employment Policy Committee of this council year, as I said earlier, so welcome back to the committee.
Thank you.
Item 8 is to approve revisions to the current performance appraisal scheme. Now, we've got the paper here. I know it's got on the top not the publication, but do we need to require us to go to?
There's no confidential information in this one, unless you did want to talk about individual. But the purpose of this is to look at the scheme as a whole, and just note the proposed change to it. That was it.
Okay. Is there anything you would like to say to it?
Only that the current scheme is we when it was last discussed was to kind of discuss mainly in one-to-ones the objectives and kind of have a kind of a regular catch up on our objectives and appraisals. This is kind of suggesting that we go back to a structured annual scheme, following the same competency framework which is in the pack as well. We just feel that the last couple of years, I don't feel there's been enough focus on the actual objectives of people. So the annual structured approach feels to be, I feel it's needed. That way we can review in the one-to-ones which happen monthly anyway, just to refer to the appraisal that they've had, the last appraisal. So the main change is to have an annual structured appraisal rather than kind of catch-ups in the one-to-ones, which I think is kind of what's been happening loosely.
Are there any questions or comments on the report?
What about out of your monthly appraisals?
One-to-ones.
Then are there sort of like outcomes and objectives, and do you know what I mean? Just in case someone's not really performing, and you have to have a one-on-one with them, and there should be an outcome within a period of time.
So they're all times.
If they're not improving, then obviously
there's a process. We follow the processes, performance management processes. This is purely just to have.
If it's only once a year.
So the appraisal happens once a year. However, the one-to-ones happen monthly, and in those one-to-ones, you're talking about the stuff that's happening right now, but also referring back to the objectives that are in your appraisal that you had. To say, look, how are you getting on? You might have 6 months targets on them, 12 months targets. So you're looking at that. You're saying, right, okay, how are you getting on with this one? You've got a deadline here. Talk to me about that. And then if there's any training issues, they're the one-to-ones that you have in the middle. This is just an annual. Structured appraisal to have, so you can get everything down on paper that falls kind of aligned with our overall, which are to come strategic priorities, as a council as well. Once that comes about, so
So there's going to be a structure stating based on performance. Basically, it's not like it's a fixed value or fixed percentage that would go at the annual. You will be receiving your appraisal based on your performance. So the monthly performances or the one-to-ones that they have will have an impact on that. So there's going to be
it all feeds in
that
appraisal.
Whatever it falls into, you may be on the lower end or the upper end of that marginal appraisal percentage, probably that we're planning to set up.
And the competency framework, you've got all the values in there that we kind of which the form relates to, so it all feeds into each other. I feel you need that annual check-in to have it kind of set out for the year. You can, the one-to-ones of checking in and reviewing what you've said you would do. And if you're not doing it, why not? Is there an issue? Do you need help with something, or is there something else going on?
Anything else? We've got the recommendations on the pack, which is 1, to note the contents of the report and the rationale for introducing a revised approach to employee and performance appraisal. 2, to approve the adoption of the revised Town Council performance appraisal documentation and key competency framework. And 3, to agree that a formal annual appraisal will be undertaken for all employees between March and April each year to review the previous year's performance and establish objectives and development priorities for the forthcoming financial year. So I'll propose that. Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
Absolutely. That's all agreed to those recommendations. Thank you. That takes us on to item 9, which is to consider exclusion of members of the public from the following items of business on the grounds that publicity would be detrimental to the public interest. The reports for the following items include personal confidential information about individual employees. Discussion of the details of the reports is likely to include discussion of personal confidential information. So I would like to propose that we exclude members of the public. Do I have a seconder?
Yep.
Are we all agreed?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who's watched us on the YouTube channel. We are going to bring the live stream to a close now.